They say some books read you back. I never believed that. Until the 13th Page came into my life. I found it at a flea market, wedged between a moldy encyclopedia set and a box of yellowed romance paperbacks. The cover was black leather, warped and cracked, with no title. Only when I opened it did the name appear, as if bleeding through the page. The 13th Page. The ink was deep crimson. I was a horror writer struggling with a brutal case of burnout, so the idea of a creepy old book no one had ever heard of, it felt like fate. I thought maybe it would inspire me. The first page was blank, so was the second. The third had only 5 words. Don't read this out loud. Naturally, I did. A draft swept through the room even though the windows were shut. My cat hissed and bolted under the couch. I laughed and kept reading. It was a short story told in first person about a man alone in his apartment reading a cursed book that begins to mirror his life. The details matched mine perfectly: the worn couch, the flickering lamp, the half-eaten cereal bowl on the table, even the weather. At first, I thought it was a gimmick, clever metafiction, until it described me scratching my head and turning toward the window, which I did, just as the sentence predicted. For hours, I stared at it sitting on my desk, expecting something to happen. Nothing did. Eventually, I went to bed. That night, I dreamed of pages, endless pages fluttering in a black void. Something was chasing me, not a monster, but a shape made entirely of moving ink, words I didn't understand. I woke up gasping, my sheets full of sweat, and the book was open on my chest even though I'd left it across the room. I threw it in a drawer, locked it, shoved the drawer into my closet, but the next day, there it was again, back on my desk, open to a new page. "You stopped too soon," it read. "Keep going." Against all reason, I did. The story progressed. The man in the book began losing time, slipping between paragraphs of reality and fiction. He'd see his reflection smile when he didn't. He'd answer calls from people who never dialed. The writing described smells, burnt paper, rotting ink, that I started to actually smell. I ran my hands over the pages. The ink was still wet. The next night, I dreamed again, but this time I didn't wake up in my bed. I woke up inside the apartment from the story. My apartment, but wrong. The walls were too close, the shadows too long. Everything moved like it was alive. I reached for the door, but it had no knob. The windows were black mirrors. When I screamed, the sound came out like the rustle of turning pages. And then I saw it. A figure made entirely of type. Letters twisting like muscle, sentences flowing over its form. It had no eyes, just quotation marks where its face should be. It reached for me with hands made of broken punctuation. I ran, down hallways that looped into themselves, through rooms I didn't recognize, each lined with pages nailed to the walls, screaming my name in bold, ink-slicked letters. I don't know how long I ran before waking up at my desk again, the book closed in front of me. Only it wasn't blank anymore. The rest of the story had been filled in, all of it describing exactly what I just lived through. What you dream, it writes. What you write, it becomes. That was the next line, and beneath it, turn to the 13th page. I hadn't noticed it before. The book only had 12 numbered pages, but sure enough, when I counted again, there was a 13th now. Just one sentence. This is where you enter. I don't remember opening it, but I remember the pull. The room twisted, like film melting in reverse. My desk stretched, warped, until the grain in the wood resembled printed lines. The walls folded inward, the ceiling peeled away. I tried to run, but the floor dissolved into parchment. My skin itched, my fingertips darkened. I looked down and saw letters bubbling up through my arms, forming words across my skin. He screamed, but the ink swallowed him. I felt it, crawling into my mouth, my ears, under my eyelids. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. My final thought before blacking out was, I didn't write this, so who did? Now I don't sleep. Because I don't exist in the way you think anymore. I'm still in the book. Yes, that book, the one you're holding, the one you're reading right now. You've turned the 13th page, haven't you? You noticed it wasn't there before, didn't you? That's how it starts. First you read it, then it reads you, and then you get pulled in, just like I did. Don't try to close it, that won't help. You've already read too much, you've already given it power. Listen closely. Do you hear that? It's the sound of pages turning, not yours, mine. Because someone else just opened the book from inside. And now, I'm writing you.